Shop on eBay this holiday season to get more for your dough on stand mixers, or get more for your buck on this season's hottest tech and gaming gear. And on eBay, you can even get more bling for less cha-ching on jewelry. You can get more because you save more on premium brands with eBay's exclusive deals. Get more when you get it on eBay.
Find what brings you joy this holiday season with Best Buy. Welcome guests to a sparkling home thanks to your new robot vacuum. Or enjoy a cozy holiday movie night on a new flat-screen TV. Shop BestBuy.com and get free next-day delivery on thousands of items.
This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular, dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rude. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
You got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
This is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans. That's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this midweek edition of One Nation Radio. I'm James Porter, and we have Rich Latta. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Just ready to talk about a really, really loaded show and talk about Dynamite from last night. And yeah, it's going to be a good show here. What's up with you, man?
Not much, man. I was telling the people when I came on with you on the Twitch at first, like I was a little late. You know, I had to shave the mess that was on top of my head off. So, you know, I had to keep the dome bald. That's the thing when you're bald that people don't tell you. Or when you shave your head bald is that, like, that shit grows back and you got to stay on it, like, every 48 hours. Otherwise, like, in person, you don't look great. And then, like, if you get to 3 days, then, like, you'll be on camera looking like bad, real bad, Michael Jackson. So, yeah. So anyway, and then they're like having to, whatever, it doesn't matter. Depends on your method on how you shave your head. But I used a pair of clippers today, so like I had to clean up the fucking kitchen or bathroom as well, as opposed to just you know with a razor blade, just be able to just, you know, right in the sink. But anyway, yeah,
I went to the flat top after a while. Just it's manageable for like a little while. As far as like, you know, I can wear it like that and just let the sides grow in, kind of. So
I see what you're doing. Fuck you. So, you know. It's like, yeah, you know, the plight of someone that with a full head of hair. You know what? You know what's funny? Like the only reason why I'm mad about it is that like it takes so much upkeep to keep a shaved head. I never knew this shit. Like it's a pain in the ass. Like I used to have long hair, whatever, head full of hair, whatever you want to call it, and like used to be a situation where. Yeah, or, you know, the hair out, and it'd just be like, just simple, you know? Now, it's every fucking day. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to talk about last night's show, which was a great show for the wrestling enthusiasts, for the people that want to see the action done in the ring. It was a great show. If you want to see the angles getting shot to get you to bite on buying a pay-per-view, you got that. If you wanted to see the promo, the great promos, you got to see it. This was one of the better shows in AEW history, in my opinion. So where do you want to start? Do you want to start from the top and go through like in a quick succession, not like how we normally do a whole, 45-minute deal? Yeah. But
so Bryan Danielson defeats Rocky Romero in an awesome match. Rocky Romero shows up and he just rolls out of bed and was like, "Yeah, I'm going to come wrestle for real. Yeah. I'm not about to get carried or anything. I'm about to do my part." And they had just a wonderful match. Lots of technical stuff in it. Some hard kicking, cool spots. Like I like Rocky's Hurricane Run on the outside of the ring. Yep. But this was another Danielson thing, and a lot of Kazuchika Okada name dropping going on here.
Lots. They mentioned, and actually I think there was a video segment of it backstage before the show, that Rocky Romero was there to extend the offer to add Chuck Taylor and Trent back into Chaos along with the rest of Best Friends. So there is a second woman in New Japan now, Chris Statlander. I hope that this means that, like, you know, she comes to Stardom. That'd be nice. That would, you know, 4 month tour. She came back. She might be the best. She might be like one of the 3 best workers in AEW. So anyway, that was really cool. But I mean, the main thing is Rocky Romero was in like Best Super Juniors Super J Cup mode. He was ready to go, and they had a really good ass match that wasn't like most Daniel Bryan matches that are just like, you know, chop fests or Bryanson, I did it again. Danielson matches.
This man thought about it and did it.
I did. I thought about it. I was like, no, don't say it. Damn it, I said it. But yeah, this is not like most of his matches so far. They've been like brutal chop fest with technical wrestling. This was mostly just a well built story. This could have fit in line with a lot of his WWE stuff. And at the end, he ends up getting a transition where he after he's working over Rocky's arm, he goes for the. Actually, they were both fighting for Rocky's fighting for arm bars. He ends up getting the label lock. He fights for it, can't get it, so he transitions over and slaps on something like a tequila sunrise looking deal, and got him out of there. And now we have another finisher, for
like 6 different ways to end the match.
Yeah, this man, like, he's fucking good. Like, obviously we knew that, but it's like. He's fucking awesome. So I don't know how many. He ain't had a match that wasn't very good yet in AEW, and he's on like every single week, it seems.
Yeah, this is another example of TK importing the New Japan to him. You know, we will bring Japan to you, Brian
for
Danielson,
now.
however you want to do it.
For now. So yeah.
So we got a big brawl after that, or Inner Circle's music hit. They came out, and we thought we were about to get like a promo or something. Nah, American Top Team, immediate jump zone on these dudes. Arlovsky is on Jericho. Dos Santos is in the segment. He fucking rules in the segment.
Yes.
Lambert's selling out. Page and Sky are all the way over the top. And then it culminates with them in the ring and Dan Lambert giving Jericho the shield power bomb off the rope through the table, and then locking him in the walls of Jericho and screamed, "It's a Boston Crab, Rocky Johnson, a championship wrestler from Florida in 1975." I fucking loved this segment. I was howling. I was just like, I was won over by American Top Team here.
The only thing that wasn't great about this segment was there is Paige Van Zant's significant other, and there's one other guy. I can't remember what it was between those two, but he got over the top of Jericho, and he threw those classic MMA guy in wrestling throw shitty looking strikes because they don't know how to, you know, make it look like a work. Outside of that, fantastic.
Yeah, this is gonna be great. Like, I think they're gonna do all the, like, Sammy Guevara's a maniac for one. Junior Dos Santos has looked great in every piece of physicality that he's done.
Tons of charisma.
Yeah, and he was holding people off with like the I think he had some type of stick in his hand or something.
Oh yeah, the kendo stick that was wrapped up in something.
Yeah, and he was like using it to like prod people or whatever, and he was like laying the belt over Sammy Guevara. So whatever limited thing he'll do is great. We already know what Santana and Ortiz do in no rules environments. Hager's sufficient enough in what he's got to do, and all Lambert got to do is not fuck up whatever they try to tell him to do. And I think this is probably going to be great.
I think it's going to be very good at the least.
So we will go on. We had a 6-woman tag. It was Ty Conti, Thunder Rosa, and Anna Jay. They took on and defeated Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, and Rebel. Britt caught a run out, left Rebel in there to die. There was a big splash by Thunder Rosa on the outside on Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter took that shit like she was in Japan. She like jumped up and fell. Everyone, I think the safety police got like nervous.
Yeah, and it's like, what else was she supposed to do? Like, that's what they... Okay, anytime I've ever seen someone catch a crossbody and it goes too high for what it's going to land on, like, let's say it was going to, like, basically go into their neck or their head, they more or less jump and meet them in midair and then come down with it because they try to meet you halfway. Like, I understand that it's on the floor, but what else was she supposed to do?
Right.
Like, the other
end, like,
decapitation. Yeah, decapitation. Yeah, so, and like, obviously a lot of people haven't seen what Jamie has put herself through and is capable of. Like, that's a tough woman.
Yep. Whole segment listed, and I'll just keep from there.
Yeah, I heard so few people talk about this match, like, Alvarez and Meltzer, and like, I thought this match for how short it went was a lot better than it got credit for being. Obviously, there's everything else on the men's side of the matches were all great matches. This wasn't necessarily a great match, but I thought it was a pretty good match for a short amount of time with people flying around. I thought Thunder Rosa was really good. I thought Jamie was good. I thought I liked it. I really did.
Look, they gave us that Britt and Thunder Rosa face-off. This is the first time they've been in the ring together since, like, they had that match. Crowd clearly remembered it, and they were getting dueling chants. Ty Conti got the win. She didn't beat Britt. I thought they would actually let her pin Britt, but they didn't, which is fine. But yeah, we'll get into more of that when we talk about the other card. So they played a hype video for Statlander and Ruby Soho. So an alien versus For the Freaks. So that's gonna probably be coming in the next coming weeks. I would imagine it's like next week's Dynamite. Next match was Jungle Boy and Anthony Bowens, and this was really good.
Yeah.
Bowens, like, back to back, he wrestled Danielson last Friday, and then came back with Jungle Boy here. Jungle Boy has the facial hair. I was seeing some women on Twitter imploring him to shave the facial hair, and saying somebody needs to get to TK and say, hey, make him shave that shit off. But this is really good. Jungle Boy never has a bad match, and Bowens again shows a great dynamic. Caster, another awesome rap on his way to the ring, and he, I don't know. I kind of like him in the manager role, like behind Bowens right there, because Bowens is solid enough. Yeah, but I like the team anyway. So however they want to do it.
Yeah, I thought the interference from Caster played very well into this match, much like his match, the Bowens match from Friday, where it's just like he's a stooge. He's going to get heat like one time, and then the babyface basically like kicks his ass on the way to getting back in the ring and then beating his friend. Like, I thought it was really good. And I don't know how old Bowens is. How old is he?
I think he's like 31, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, he's shown himself to be a very good wrestler, which I didn't necessarily know while watching the Acclaim's tag matches. But so that's good to know. Very good match. Very good match.
Yeah. So after the match, Bobby Fish runs out. I thought CM Punk had banished him to the Shadow Realm. Apparently not. He starts whooping on Jungle Boy's ass, hit him with an exploder suplex into the ropes, until Christian Cage and Luchasaurus ran out after that. Then we got a Kenny Omega Hangman Page promo video, talked about their heartbreak and the adversity that Page has faced over the last year. He wants the AEW title more than anything. And then Kenny basically said, all I do is win great matches. All I do is win big matches. All you do is lose them. And Page doesn't stand a chance. From there, we got Super Click in the back, and Cole introduces Bobby Fish to the Young Bucks, and Matt's like, hey man, we know who the fuck this guy is, like, because the canon of AEW is the canon of pro wrestling. Right. And then he let him know that there's no dispute in AEW. It's the Elite era. That was pretty funny. And it's going to be Bobby Fish and Jungle Boy on Rampage. Bobby Fish is a goon in training, or some type of goon right now, and to leave a little bit of Jungle Boy left for Full Gear. So James is celebrating right now.
Very happy. this is the first step of many until we get like the full like influx of like the entire universe of NXT. Look, when is Triple H showing up? I know we've joked about it, all the other shit. You know, I don't know what his health situation is. I hope he's good. But if all of this NXT talent ends up in fucking AEW, like I hope it will end up being, why not? Why not? I'm not saying do an invasion angle. That's way too far gone. But he could be a old head manager type or whatever at this point. They can take a couple bumps here and there and then be in the back or whatever else, pick up a nice check while also like pissing off Vince, while also like cashing out all that stock he has. Why not?
Oh my God. That'd be insane. First,
cause he ain't gonna never look. Think of all that stuff we saw from Triple H 2019, where that man did basically a fucking 24 documentary campaigning for his job, right? And at that point in time, after that man had like literally back to back from TakeOver New York to TakeOver 25, you were like, this is it. This is the wrestling we want for the rest of our lives. Give us this. This is great. And look what's happened ever since then. He's been Vince has done nothing but fuck with him and all that stuff. And look and the pandemic hit and NXT like was just destroyed by the pandemic. They couldn't get the takeover. They're always in that small fucking LA Fitness when they left Full Sail from there. And then like look at 2.0. 2.0 they did all that stuff, all that revamping. Their ratings are worse than it was before NXT got taken over from Triple H. So I don't want to hear that shit. So for me, yeah. Like, you're gonna never get the job. You've shown yourself. Look at all the talent that the other company has picked up that you also signed first. Why not? They all trust Triple H to begin with. Triple H not finna wrestle no more.
Yeah, I would I would see how his
there'd be one match. Obviously,
what his condition looks like.
The Triple H versus Cody match. Cody wants that so badly.
Did you know? Like Cody been building it up.
Bitch, you dumb. So yeah, you may as well let him be in. Add him in there. You know, why not?
Yeah, that would be like, I don't know. I think that day on Twitter that the Paul Levesque is all elite graphic goes up, like would be a top 5 Twitter day.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't just be Triple H. It'd also be like Sean. You know,
oh my God.
It's both. Like they would cry so hard. They would cry so hard into their pillows trying to go to sleep. They'd be miserable.
Man.
They got Sean. They got Brent. They even got fucking Hunter. I fucking hate Hunter.
I hate these niggas more than the Nazis.
Like, dude, and all this would have been avoidable if this man wasn't just like on that bullshit. Just book good wrestling, bro. This shit is not that hard. It's not, but they make it so hard.
We got a great recap of CM Punk and Eddie Kingston promo video. Apparently, there's something in the Road to that dropped this week, and also coming up in the countdown. That's incredible as far as promo, so I'm going to have to check those out.
Are you doing the countdown after Rampage like you normally do or after normally on their go-home show?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got Wardlow beating on Wheeler Yuta, and he beat the shit out of this man. And then it seemed like the message of this match was, hey, like all the young guys we talk about and all the low 30s guys we talk about, like the fucking Wardlow is right here and we can heat him up on a fucking dime if we want to.
Yeah. They were mentioning that on commentary as far as like, yeah, don't just like Wardlow's great too. Yeah, man, Wheeler Yuta was supposed to like do something off of the second rope and he like lost his balance and fell.
Yes.
And like Wardlow was like, you can fuck up all you want to. I'm still going to pick you up and slam your dumb ass. And sure enough, that's what happened. Like, Wardlow's awesome. He's just awesome. So, more squash to come, I hope.
Hit him with like 4 power bombs. After that, the HFO jumped in. They attacked Wheeler Yuta. They beat up Orange and Chuck. So, first day in chaos, not going well for, the best friends in Orange and Yuta. And then basically Matt Hardy hit the Twist of Fate through a chair on this man. Dylan says Wardlow is the guy of 2 years of hyping this man is going to pay off soon. I definitely think he can get a title shot should the title change hands at some point.
Like the clock, look, the button gets pressed the second MJF becomes AEW World Champion.
Yeah. So we came back from the break, and then CM Punk and Eddie Kingston were getting separated in the parking lot, and this was fucking hilarious because like they don't like you don't really see the AEW parking lot too often. So like Dustin Rhodes is breaking shit up, Ruby is holding back Eddie Kingston single-handedly.
Yes.
Damn near.
As he said, for the freaks, and what's she doing? Trying to keep this motherfucker Kingston under control.
Yep.
Eddie Kingston, a freak.
Yep. And then basically there's this fucking hilarious gif that I'm sending out. Eddie Kingston trying to break away from the pack, but he's trying to run with like Timberland boots on, and like that don't usually work out well.
That's what it was. It was the Timberland boots. It's the Timberland boots that slowed him down.
Look, that's one part.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. It's funny to see because I was laughing at how slow that man was moving, how he got hawked down by the ref and because the ref basically got an angle on him, and then he realized like he wasn't gonna make it, so he had to slow down before he ran into the car. And then like today to hear Nelson Alvarez say like I ain't never seen him move that fast. I fucking howled. I'm like, God damn, he's slower than I thought he was.
Look, I want to see, when do we see the Eddie Kingston Doc Gallows foot race?
Kingston's faster than Gallows. But it's still just bro. That's the sloth versus the tortoise. Man. Like you watch Kingston run, and I don't know if it's because like he's not really running as hard as he can. He's not giving full out sprint, but like to see like the lack of mobility in leg stretch for each stride, and I don't know if it's attempts or not, but it's like, bro, you can't get your legs that far off the ground. What pro wrestling is all an illusion. And he
also that man wearing those early 2000s jeans. That man got the additional weight on those jeans.
That don't help neither, man. But man, like I was fucking howling, and yeah, man, like it added to the match. Like at this point, like they already did all the work. Like now at this point, they just entertaining me with funny shit. So I'm with it. Like bring it on.
Up next, we got Leo Rush and Dante Martin. They defeated Matt Sydal and Lee Moriarty, and we got a nice match right here. I feel like I was watching PWG. Leo Rush, I think, was the star of the match. Lee Moriarty was very over for his first appearance on Dynamite. Sydal was great, of course, and Dante did, so he ended up getting the finish and all that. Leo Rush dedicated this match to his grandmother. He came out here dressed like the White Ranger. And I think this is as good as Leo Rush has looked since like he was wrestling like Angel Garza and stuff like that.
At the cruiserweight title in NXT.
I had Leo's like been up and down when you look at like some of his like stuff like since he's been out in between companies, I would say. And then like you got to realize, like I guess to do Leo Rush's style, you need to be a certain level of person for him to do that shit with, and he might not have had all the best dance partners. I was told to consider that with Leo. And then when I did, I was like, that makes sense. And then when I saw him in there with Matt Sydal, I was like, oh, yeah, he's fucking great. Just let him go. I was like, when did they wrestle the Lucha Brothers? When do they wrestle the Bucks? It's fucking phenomenal. I love this match.
Match is great. I like Lee Moriarty from watching the pre-show Rampage match that had Minoru Suzuki and Danielson. It was him when he lost to Fish, and I like that match a lot. So to see this and to see like the kind of technical wrestling that him and Dante were doing, I was like, bro, like Lee Moriarty's 27, like Dante's 20. They could be doing this for like the next 15 years. In theory, and like I was just very impressed, or let's say this decade. That's too far. 27, whatever. Let's say you can do the next day. Like it was very, very fucking impressive. And then Leo got in, and it was like, Jesus Christ, like, yeah, that's the same guy that I like. A couple years ago, I was like, yeah, that's Black Mysterio. That's Black Red Mysterio right there. People don't recognize it as such, but that dude's that kind of special.
It's funny because Dave was talking about him being like Mysterio on the show today, which was funny.
Yeah, I laughed at that because I was like, I was ahead, as you say, all the time. What is your rate ahead? I've been saying that since 2019. Yeah, man, he's. I'm so happy he's in AEW. I'm so happy that I get to watch him again. Like, that dude's fucking fantastic. And like him and Dante, like you said, bring Private Party, come through. Like everybody come through. This is gonna be a blast. It's really gonna be a blast.
Yep. So we got a promo from Miro on Bryan Danielson. He asked if Danielson could comprehend his god. Miro needs to win this tournament. And he said some line about the wives. In order to get back to my wife, I need to make you not go back to yours or some shit like that. I forgot what he said.
Yeah.
Then we got Pac versus Dax Harwood, two of the angriest looking, most foul mood looking dudes on the roster. I would never think of that. Like, look like total opposites when you look at their physiques and all that, but they get in and they go nuts as well. I think I would give this one a 4. Yeah, this was like all the it was like WCW they did their standoffs in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Super sick brain buster that Pat gave him. Dax
opened up Bald with chops.
Yep, he hit him with the chops. There was a Fosbury flop at a certain point.
Do we need to talk about the Fosbury
suplexes?
Flop? Do we need to talk about the Fosbury flop?
Sure,
because it was actually a flop. Like Pac ended up like ribs and all on the fucking mat.
Yeah, Dax got that NXT training. They don't really catch a bitch. Mizaninism. Bro, like remember that time that man let R-Truth just fall on his ass at one time?
That's the reason why to this day he didn't catch somebody twice, and ever since then, like he's the person I go to when I say someone's not catching somebody on dives, floor dives.
Dax showing psychology. Maybe he's like, I'll move.
Yeah, and then sell.
Yeah, gotta keep up the illusion.
Yeah. So, I thought this match was great. I thought that it is something that reminds me of Pac, like ever since he got to AEW, or at least since AEW, since he left WWE, that I've noticed is just like his sense of building suspense and his pacing, like the way he builds suspense with it is like so well done. And like, quite frankly, when I watch like Andrade and Rey Mysterio, they do similar things where obviously it's you take time between the high spots to make old timers think you're selling, right? Whatever. So fine, whatever. But like the way he does it is just like it builds suspense from the next big spot to the next, and then like the way in so like compared to like let's say his Dragon Gate stuff you've ever seen, it's so much less than what he used to do when he was just like throwing the kitchen sink out there with him and Ricochet and all that shit, right? But it's like the impact is like the same because like he's selling in between these times, building suspense, and like he's a genius. He's a genius, and he's quite frankly he's been doing this since the second he left WWE, and he was doing a little bit when he was the king of the cruiserweights as Neville, but like now it's like he don't give a fuck. He's working on his own pace, and I love it. It reminds me of like Kagetsu, to be honest with you. Like it's really fun.
So Pac ended up getting a brutalizer for the submission. Then the lights went out.
Oh yeah, and the thing about it I loved was like this is a match where it's like, all right, they're both going to be in big matches on the pay-per-view, especially Bald being in a tag team match. How are they going to get out of it? And how they got out of it was he's going to transition quickly to put on the Rings of Saturn, and he's going to be dead to rights. He's going to tap immediately to because he knows he can't afford to take that such a big injury into the title match, which I'm like, that's great. That's great. Like, yeah, he lost, but like, and yes, he tapped, but like, he tactfully tapped out because he knew he had a match coming in a couple of days more important than this one. So like, it's a bit of protection, kind of in a way. But yeah, like you said, great match.
Then Cash Wheeler, Malachi Black, and Andrade came out after the lights went out. So the cool thing, I guess, when you roll with Malachi Black is you inherit the teleporting with him, you know.
No. It's like X-Men with like Nightcrawler. Like if he touches you, he teleports. You teleport with him.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, all like you don't get the powers, but like you come with me whenever we go. You know. It's like a ride share on Uber or some shit.
Yeah. So Andrade just look around. How did this happen? You know. Then Cody and the Lucha Bros ran out. Cody wearing all black again, and they're all brawling. And there's a little program 4-way program here, and we ended up getting the match announced. Pac and Cody will team up to take on Malachi Black and Andrade El Idolo. So after that, we got a promo video for MJF and Darby Allin. It was fucking great. Just kind of remind you of everything that these guys did. They didn't do anything on the show. They just ran the video package. And then we got Kenny Omega and Hangman Page and the contract signing. So it was like about 10 minutes left. They sat across the table from each other. Page went to sign it first. He said the sooner he signs the contract, the sooner he gets a full gear and he gets to beat Kenny. Cowboy shit chance were in abundance here. Kenny comes about by himself, by the way. Whole Elite is thrown out. Dark Order is thrown out. Omega says that if it wasn't for Page's insecurity and failures, he could have the world championship and the back end of the Elite. And Kenny said he saw a bit of himself in Page and how wrong he was. What a disappointment. Hangman then said that, you know, Kenny once had a tag team partner that perhaps he didn't measure up to, referencing Kota Ibushi, obviously. When Kenny beat Page last year, he told Page, "Good job, Hanger." And if you pull up the tape, like, you'll see him whisper to him something, and it's presumably that if you watch the finish from last year. And like I said, definitely check out that thing on the website that they put up, because it's like it's the most detailed thing I've ever seen someone do to sell a match. Like, it was like like imagine that Emi Sakura thing on like steroids. Like but Kenny said he wasn't proud of Page, or excuse me, Hangman said that Kenny wasn't proud of Page, he was scared of him. Page will become that fear when Page wins the world title this Saturday. Kenny said that he wanted to be the guy to see Page reach his potential, and then he was like, "Let's keep it, you know, like sportsmen. Let's kill it at the pay-per-view." And then they shook hands, and he said, "Good job, Hangman. I'm proud of you." And then all of a sudden, the cameraman was in the picture,
which only could mean,
yep,
yeah, like. Did you know the second you saw a second cameraman that what was up?
No, I didn't know anything until I saw the contact. Okay, I was like, what the fuck?
So for me, once I saw the second cameraman, I was like, I thought it was going to be Bobby Fish. Because they had just added Bobby Fish, or, you know, they just made Bobby Fish more or less a goon. And then, like, they said they're getting rid of all the Elite, and, like, he's not officially Elite. So I was expecting Bobby Fish. It turned out to be Callus.
Yeah. Man, I fucking howled at the moon.
This man took off the COVID mask and then ripped off a fucking goatee mustache. I was like, you are a fucking carny gimmick ass piece of shit. This is the best thing I think you've ever done in pro wrestling. Because I fucking howled. I was like, look at this fucking extra. It was just extra. The definition of extra. Amazing. It was fantastic. It was fantastic. And then Hangman bladed.
He boshed his man upside the head with the camera. And Kenny signed his contract in the blood of Page.
I saw someone on Twitter say that, like, that Kenny Omega got that shit in blood like Pooh Shiesty. I fucking howled. Because I was like, wait a second. Shouldn't it be Hangman if you try to get it in blood? Not the other way. Whatever. Good enough. Whatever.
That's great. Kenny Omega got it in blood like Pooh Shiesty. Who knew? But yeah, so yeah, they did the segment. What'd you think of the whole thing?
I liked it a lot. I'm just always gonna have issues with the with the confidence issues, like I'm just never going to be able to get around that. But outside of everything else, like outside of that, like I thought it was really good. I thought it was two thumbs up for what they had to say to each other in the angle at the end where he botches that man's head with the camera. So yeah, I thought it was really good. This was about as well I could ask for when they actually went face to face. So yeah.
Whatever brings you the most joy this holiday season, Best Buy has the tech to make it happen. Maybe it's welcoming your guests with a sparkling clean home with the help of a new robot vacuum, or cooking dinner to crispy perfection in less time with a new air fryer. Or maybe it's just a cozy holiday movie marathon on a new flat screen TV. Best Buy has you covered no matter what you're looking for. Get your gifts at Best Buy fast and free, including free next-day delivery on thousands of items. Visit bestbuy.com or download the app to shop now.
If you have diabetes, excess sugar could be causing damage in your eyes that you might not even notice. So be proactive about your eye health and take charge of your sight. Learn more at nowic.com. Brought to you by Regeneron.
So we might as well transition into the preview, and we'll start with Kenny Omega versus Hangman Page. So singles match for the AEW World Championship. So Kenny Omega's had the belt for 11 months at this point. This looks like where we might be getting off the ride here. I will address that next week, should that actually be the case. But yeah, I think we're going to get a hell of a match here. They will probably make up for whatever has felt not great about the build in the ring. I'm expecting a 5-star match, and I hate to put that pressure on them like that, but Hangman has been in situations before where on the day it comes, it's not there for whatever reason. Him versus Kip Sabian going too long.
Oh, that's Kip Sabian.
Him versus Chris Jericho and the whole crowd.
It's Chris Jericho in year 29 or 28.
Yeah. So I think he's fought through some of those lackluster receptions. It seems like every time they've kind of tried to heat him up a little bit, felt like it hasn't been there until now. I feel like Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, pretty much the Elite minus Cody, I'll say, have broken their backs to try to make this dude a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
And I think history should look upon them very kind. I feel like there's not enough kind of deference being shown at the moment. It's almost like they want to kind of throw them, to into a ditch and say fuck you, we on to some other shit now. But I think this is why Rich Latta exists, to contextualize what the fuck's going on here. But I don't know, man. I was listening to Floyd this week on All Things Elite and Austin, and I heard Floyd bring up, he was like, man, but what if Kenny wins? And Austin was just flustered.
Oh, you wanna answer for what happens if Kenny wins?
Yeah.
I mean, I thought about it today, and I almost said it in the thread, but I was like, nah, I'm gonna say it for the podcast. Omega drops that man with the one wing angel. He kicks, he gets him up, he freaks out. Omega gets him up again and drops him again and pins him. Right. So everyone's down in the dumpster, upset, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, you hear that fucking coin drop. And then out comes Kazuchika Okada. And then we get Omega Okada 5. Fuck that. You tell me that's somehow some bad, awful story. Look, man, come get that shit back in 9 months, Hangman. We got some matches to get off the dock before exactly just move on from Kenny Omega as an AEW world champion.
I feel like people are trying to throw him out so quick with not doing him versus CM Punk for the title, him versus Bryan Danielson for the title. What the fuck are y'all doing? Like y'all love this nigga this much? Like we gotta hold the whole promotion up for this.
This is not a Tetsuya Naito thing where Tetsuya Naito is the biggest draw in the company. This is a guy that is, at this point, between Moxley, Omega, the Young Bucks, Cody, Darby Allin, MJF. We're talking about someone that is top 10.
That's in the mix.
Like, and I don't mean in no bad way. Like, and I believe he should be AEW World Champion at some point. And I think he should be AEW World Champion now just to get it fucking done with. Like,
get it over with.
Yeah, like make it a champion and in 5 months have MJF come take it off of him. Or 7 months, whatever. Like basically have him have the same length of a run as Jericho did. But yeah, like
I feel like we're throwing away an awful lot of big money matches that have worked out really well when you look at this past year. When you start talking about Flair Thez, there's like one guy sitting right there. Like,
if there is, this is what I'll say. Whatever choice they make, outside of some type of bullshit, any clean finish they come up with, Omega going over, Hangman going over, it's not a bad decision. Like, you can still do a whole bunch of stuff you want to do with Omega freed up from the title, right? You can have Omega go to the Dome, go to Tokyo Dome, and wrestle in the January 8th Dome if they want to, right? So it doesn't matter. He's going to be good either way. The only thing that I'm concerned with is what is Revolution's, if Hangman is a champion, what is Revolution's main event? And would Hangman be in it as the champion? Because I have real concerns that he would. That's it. Look, there have been AEW pay-per-views that didn't have the world title match be the last match. So this is not some big deal breaker or this would be some failure on his part or whatever else, right? Like, he's not as big a star as these other guys that are in the title picture. And that's fine. Like, if you make it a champion, put him second on the top. Who gives a fuck, right? But it would be like kind of transparent what you're doing if you put him in the second from the top and then you main event with like Omega Danielson 2 at Revolution.
Yeah, it would almost be like you shouldn't swap the fucking belt then.
But then again, here's the thing, right? If you do Omega Bryan 2, Danielson needs to win that match. So I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's necessarily the best thing in the world to make Danielson the champion this quickly. You can get a year out of that. Or, a year to 15 months out of that. So, whatever.
I struggle to think like if Heyman wins, it's like, all right, where do you like?
There's plenty of matches.
Yes, there's plenty of great wrestlers for him to fight and things like that. But I'm like, I struggle to figure out what do you do if the strategy is not, hey, just let's feed him every big person we have. Like I brought up
to actually get him over.
Yeah. Like to do the Utami deal or whatever.
I thought you were going to say Arisa and White Belt, but yeah.
like if that's not the strategy, I don't know what it is. So,
I mean, that could be the strategy. I mean, if he comes out here and he beats Kenny Omega and then Danielson or MJF or Malachi Black in like before the year's out, that might do the fucking trick. Or Russell's Pac again and beats him. Mm-hmm. That might do the trick that they were thinking. Because we all feel like there's one little thing. I mostly feel like it's the fact that there's a severe lack of promo work in this game. But it's not. Like you watch his promo, it's not like he's the same thing with Omega. It's like it's not like they're bad talkers. They just don't talk for whatever reason, which is weird. So. When they're babyface anyway. Omega will talk any chance he gets when he's a heel. When he's a babyface, he wants to do that bullshit with Michael Nakazawa and with the one with the 55 on the weight. So anyway, so yeah, like sure, like if that's the plan, do it. Actually, like whatever they want to do is going to work. It doesn't matter, but I just think there's bigger matches on the horizon for Omega, and like it depends on the order they do it, but like. I think it could service him not having the belt to do some of this stuff.
I think people will go into crisis mode.
They would.
If Hangman Page doesn't win this, I think promotion should just go ahead and switch the belt.
And they're laying it on thick on their own.
On the website. Like, on the website. I've never seen nothing like that. That's what tipped me off.
Excalibur.
I feel like it's changing.
Excalibur on the well, it has to change. It's fine. Like Excalibur on the package that like earlier in the show to get to this contract sign was basically like, you only lose so many times before they give up on you. You said something along the lines of that, and I was like, why the fuck would you say that on your thing? Now it's like you have to change the title. Like, so fine, like change the title. He's gonna be great as champion in matches. That's not my concern with the match. My thing is like, is he like should he actually main event when he has a belt? If the answer is no, then like fine. But like it could get transparent, and if he's just a transition or a person that really just be the guy to like have a short get his first reign, knock that out, and then go chasing after it again, and then he finally has his ace run, fine. Because like people do it all the time. That's a New Japan Pro Wrestling hallmark.
Mm-hmm.
So we got years to figure this all out in retrospect. This isn't some necessarily do not right now thing, but I think there are some
I'm feeling
pressing things with Omega to do that are like more. I mean, he might be at this point in line, but kind of be bigger than the belt.
Yeah, a lot of people saying there's Starrcade 97 energy around this. I think that's them wanting there to be an iceberg here. But yeah. Got a comment. Devil McCurry says Kenny Omega is hurt. I mean, Kenny Omega's always hurt. You're talking about a guy that wrestled
what?
Yeah, like he wrestled entire G1 with a broken heel. So, and he's a regular cupper. A lot of people, the popular theory is like Kenny needs to go ahead and drop the belt, and then he can take time off to heal his injuries and all that. And I'm like, I mean,
how many matches has he had since Arthur Ashe?
Like 3.
One? Oh, 3.
Like 3 of them, and 2 of them were 8-man tags. Like that's why I said he looked fresh when he was in there with Alan Angels last week. I was like, he's got spring in the step. So like he's clearly rested. I think he's gonna have his prime working shoes on. Match.
He's gonna do everything in his power to.
He's about to break his fucking back to get this guy over.
Yeah, he's gonna do everything.
Champion.
Yeah. Omega's gonna do everything in his power to have the best match he possibly can to make Hangman look as good as he can, whether he wins or loses. Like that's how Omega gets down.
Like I'm not worried about him sandbagging it in a 3-star match or something. So So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. I'm picking Hangman officially.
Same here
to win, but Kenny keeps that bitch. I ain't complaining either.
Yeah.
So
like I think I'm not the booker. They're going to change it to Adam Page. If it were me, I'd beat him and make him chase again, or I'd make him a transitional champion. But either way, it doesn't matter. Like Omega's gonna be doing like shit that's gonna be harder than whatever. Most likely,
that's a serious question to ask. But like, so maybe I should put this on, like, do it Levitard style. Like, all right. So in the fallout of this match, whose future are you more excited for?
Immediate future, yeah, definitely Omega, because like he has so many matches left to do.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. So. Up next, I guess we can go into the AEW World Title Eliminator Finals. Bryan Danielson versus Miro. In a shock or something, you would think my conventional wisdom here would be like, oh, hey man, one a heel has to win. I'm picking Bryan Danielson. I feel like he's too hot. He's too like much in a zone right now. With Moxley being out the picture, I may have gone with Moxley over him here because I would think.
Him and Hangman.
Yeah, I think that's natural. I think that kind of fits like a glove right there. That gives them something like that. And for me, I know Miro was the secondary champion for a while. If you stick Miro in there with Hangman it
immediately drops. It
immediately drops. Yeah. Like, and that's no shade to Miro. Like, there's no shade to Miro or anything. I think he can be a challenger. I think you could probably have him challenge for the belt on one of those specials. I don't see him as a pay-per-view challenger personally.
They would have to level him up some. You have to give him some wins. They have to give him some wins against like people like Pac or like Cody or something like that before they get to that.
And I know they're a long way away from Revolution, so it probably would be in the middle anyway. So he could feasibly do it. But me, I'm putting everything I can into Bryan Danielson, how kind of hot he feels right now. And if you want to give Hangman another big win, like have him beat Bryan too. And I think that's a stronger win than over Miro would be.
Right. So if you do like, I don't think they'll call it Winter is Coming 2, but if they, they do a December TV show or just title match, like you tell me what's going to, help draw a big rating or whatever else on a Wednesday, like against,
or their event that they got coming, like the January, it's like the first weekend of January is like their TNT special.
You think it'll make it out that far? You think they will make a title match stretch out that far? Especially with like Revolution to be in the middle of February or early February.
We'll have to see.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I think you do Bryanson. I fucking did it again. I think you do Danielson in like you. And if it's Hangman, you beat him. Him being Danielson, you have Omega, or you have Hangman basically beat Omega in Danielson, like in within a month of each other, or a month and a half, whatever you want to call it.
Like and then you're off to the races, partner. Go ahead and can't say you wasn't set up well,
right?
So after that, we got the Inner Circle against the Men of the Year. We've talked at length about we got Bryanson comments in the chat.
Man, I can't help it. Can't help it. Freudian slip.
So I feel like Paige Van Zandt has to get involved here somewhere.
Yeah, she will. She's gonna kick Jericho in the balls probably.
American Top Team has won everything so far on this. So I would think the Inner Circle is going to win here.
Well, the match where they got the stipulation for who could Guevara beat Scorpio, right? Or was that Ethan Page?
Ethan Page.
Yeah, yeah. Other than that, yeah, you're right.
They've done, yeah. American Top Team has dominated here, and I don't think Jericho's about to they're not about to lose this one going away. And I don't even know who would take the fall there unless, the only thing that I would think happens here is somebody turns in the Inner Circle, like Hager or something, as a double agent for American Top Team or something.
That'd be hilarious.
That's the only thing I can think of, but this should be a wild brawl, stadium stampede energy, but, at ringside.
Yeah, I expect a really good match.
Taking the Inner Circle.
I'm going to go with American Top Team. I'm going to go with American Top Team. Given how well the segments have gone with Lambert, with the crowd heat or whatever else, I think you keep them around a little bit longer. I think you got to get to a match with Miles Vidal or with Paige Van Zandt in the thing. One of the big guns from American Top Team.
Masvidal might be freed up because his fight was canceled. So, never know.
He's not going to take a replacement fight?
No idea.
Okay.
So we had a tag match for the AEW World Tag Team titles. The Lucha Bros will be taking on FTR, and it should be great.
I expect a killer match.
It better be great.
Yeah.
I feel like we haven't seen much of the Lucha Bros recently. They had a couple matches on Rampage. They've been largely absent from Dynamite, while FTR has kind of been all over in singles and tags. FTR has been on Dark. They've been on Elevation. They've been on Dynamite. They've been, like I said, competing in singles. They've been doing angles. They're everywhere right now. So I feel like there is some temptation for them to switch the belts, but I think that'd
be a disaster.
I would not do that. I would I would have the Lucha Brothers hold them shits to get to a lot more crazy wild matches that they could have.
Yeah, I don't even think there's a question who's going to win this match. It's not title versus title, is it?
No.
Okay, so yeah, they're winning this match. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm going to pick the Lucha Bros. They do have the rematch in AAA for the AAA titles in December, which I think the Lucha Bros will probably also win that one.
Is that on the same card as the Vikingo Omega match?
Yes.
I guess we'll be covering AAA in December.
Oh, they've also got a couple other matches on that show. or one more crazy match. So let me read you the participants in this, and you tell me how crazy you think this match is going to be. So there was also a wild LA Park and Cain Velasquez shoving match that got put on Twitter today. It was fucking awesome. So it was Cain Velasquez, Pagano, and Psycho Clown. Yes, Psycho Loco, Psycho Clown.
Didn't he just do like American shows just recently?
I think he did a GCW show.
That's what it was.
Yeah, and then he's taking on LA Park, Taurus, and Rey Scorpion. So that's the dude. Rey Scorpion's the dude he fought, and he took his hair a couple months ago.
Okay.
So that should be pretty interesting. But yeah, as far as this, I think it's Lucha Bros all day. Send it in.
Yeah, I expect a very good match. Do we know if Bald is okay after taking that brainbuster?
He's fine.
Okay.
Yep. We got Darby Allin versus MJF. Some of the pillars of AEW. They are kind of importing old storyline they did together in PWG, where they talk about they were going to beat each other with a simple move. So could be some type of storytelling match here, but I expect a phenomenal match. I don't know who's going to win. Just like looking at the rest of the card, maybe tip something off. MJF, they like to keep him strong. He doesn't lose often. So I'm tempted to go with MJF winning here. Darby is Teflon to losses. I know he lost against CM Punk, but did it feel like he lost at any time this month? So I think this is going to be great. I love seeing MJF in there with people his age. I think Darby is just one of the most incredible wrestlers there is. He's got a great legacy on pay-per-view, building himself. You talk about going back to the match with Cody. You talk about him and Sammy Guevara. You can talk about him and Cody again on pay-per-view. You can go with what he was doing with Sting in those cinematic matches. And it's been a little minute, and he, of course, was CM Punk's comeback match. So he's always going to carve out a little piece of the show that belongs to him.
Yeah, I haven't really thought about who's going to win. I guess I'll go with MJF just because it's very rare that he loses it's very rare that he loses. So, it seems like he only loses like one big match a year so far in AEW. So I'll go with that. And I, in a way, this is like obviously, you have the eliminator thing, but like, in a way, this is almost like whoever wins this match should be the title challenger for Revolution.
Yeah, you could do that, or they're at least basically booking themselves their ticket in line. We'll say that. But we've got CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston, and I can't wait to watch the rest of these Road to promos sent down joints. But you saw him heated up. We covered it on the show. I think it was last week or earlier this week. What Punk and Kingston did. I wonder if Punk is going to want to do, if he's going to want to get physical. Like Olivia Newton-John.
How else are you going to have a good match with Eddie Kingston?
Like, you can't run from it.
Yeah. You got to stand in the pain. You got to put that elbow pad to work.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be. I don't know. Like, this is a wild card match. I'm just gonna say it. I'm rooting for Eddie Kingston. I hope he wins.
You can root, you can hope, you can whatever you want to. Like that, Kingston gave it away in the middle of that promo. I don't care if I want to lose. I'm just gonna beat the fuck out of you, and after I beat you up, then like don't come back for 7 years. Like, we all know Eddie Kingston's not winning this match. It's fine. Like, he'll come up with something else after he loses. It's fine.
I think the people gonna be on Eddie's side. I'm calling it. I don't think he's gonna win, but like, Eddie Kingston got something very special going on right now, and
yeah, he had a rollout this week. Promotional rollout this week. No shade, but he did, and that's fine.
He wrote an excellent thing in a Player Tribune. That's probably like the best Player Tribune thing I've ever read. Like, it was like incredible. And I would consider starting to protect Eddie Kingston a little more, like, because like if he's doing all this while you're beating him like a drum, imagine what a lick of protection would do. Like, hey, what if we let him win? You know, they won't know how to act. They'll go crazy.
I mean, there is one thing they could do to like just get him there, like have whenever, you know, if and when Moxley returns, have Moxley turn on him.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's probably what's gonna happen.
That's
probably what's gonna happen.
That's what I would think too. So
yeah.
Look, I think that'll work out a lot better than turning on Seth Rollins.
Dude. Okay, so I'm now at like in the 120-ish, 25-ish like range of pages of his book. And like,
wouldn't shock me if they ain't even friends no more.
They're still friendly. He talks about them friendly during the FCW stuff. And also there's a section about the Shield that I haven't gotten to yet that I read like excerpts of before the book came out on Twitter. But yeah, he multiple. Keep in mind, like this book jumps back and forth. Like it jumps to like it'll jump to his childhood. Actually, his childhood you don't get to until like the like hundreds of his book. There's parts where he talks about like Brody Lee. There's part where he talks about like his dad. There's part where he talks about FCW and the place he stayed in Tampa that looks like that resembled a crack den. That like this man moved to Tampa and like got a room where he's paying rent $100 a month instead of getting his own place because like he couldn't get his own place because he had an eviction on his record, right? So this man spent 1 full year before he moved in with Big Cass. But anyway, yeah, like, and then he's talking about like Vegas and like some of these hiking trails or whatever else and biking trails in different places, and like and then he also has like stuff about like sandwiches, about he's a sandwich connoisseur and the right way to make sandwiches and everything, and about entry points on a way to be able to bite into a sandwich or whatever else without feeling like, what the fuck where do I bite? Whatever. It's a lot, whatever. This is really good. And obviously the G1, but this man, like, in multiple, also talked about his Regal angle in a FCW, talked about his what would have been his Mick Foley angle in, coming up to the main roster. And through it, like, multiple times, he talked about, like, there's a section where he talked about, like, the heel turn with the shit immediately. And that was like when he's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm not coming back. And like he talked about like, I think it was New Year's Day of 2019 was when he was like, cause he said he'd been bitching to Renee for over and over and over. And then at one point Renee was finally like, when they just leave, and he's like, I will, good. I'm gonna. It was one of them shits. And then like he went on this biking, this hiking trail with Renee on New Year's Day 2019. And that's when he was like, all right, like, this is now the end. I only have to get to April. Like, I'm out this bitch. We're done. It's a wrap. Whatever. Like, instead of being upset, then like he got the new year and it was like a new me thing. And he was like, now it's like, I'm no longer angry. I'm now happy and excited where I'm going to be, most likely Japan. So, and then at the end, very end, he was like, little did I know, there's also like that same day, AEW got launched, right? So, he'll get to the AEW stuff later in the book, but that's where he's talking about. Like, he mentioned multiple times, like that fucking his return after the staph infection thing, and like you've heard him talk about it before in you know the podcast of Jericho and in like you know the breaking the ropes thing, like just miserable. Like they hated that heel run, thought it was shit, thought it was terrible, thought like why does everything have to be so fucking stupid? Like
there was one podcast telling you on real time how trash this shit was.
Is Sam in here?
I don't know if
I wish Sam would be here. Sam was offended that shit.
Sam is not in here.
Okay. He'll hear it. Sam was defending that shit in real time. We were like, nah, bro, this ain't the way. Like, I remember when Moxie said that shit sucked. I was like, that's the first thing I thought. I was like, even Moxie thought this shit sucked. Sam's a huge Moxie fan, and nah, man. Moxley hated his own work. So yeah.
What a worker. But yeah, we, elsewhere on the show, we've got Christian Cage and Jurassic Express Falls Count Anywhere match against Adam Cole and the Young Bucks.
Should be a blast of a match.
It should be great. This feels like it'll be, all right, let's see, a combo of a PWG match, a TLC match, a War Games NXT match, probably all in one.
War Games?
Yeah, like Adam Cole will probably bring like his multi-man expertise to the match or whatever. And yeah, this should be really great if they get time.
About to say, if this shit goes 40 minutes, it's a mistake.
Oh, yeah, I don't think it's going 40. I think
no, you said War Games, all them shit's going to be going 40. Like, nah, man, cut that shit short. Yeah, match should be really good. I think it's a match that, like, if the Young Bucks were still the tag champions or whatever else, I feel like they would get more time. And this match will end up being better, but I think they'll end up somewhere in the low 4s and like 15 minutes or some shit like that.
Yeah, I think they're going to be.
It's going to be great regardless.
It's going to be great. I'm going to actually pick. No, I'm going to pick Super Click. I'm a coward. I'll pick Super Click.
It would be interesting if Hangman won the title, beating Omega, and the Super Click also lost. Like if Matt Jackson got pinned, because it'd be a role reversal of like a Full Gear a year ago where Hangman gets being the Eliminator, the Young Bucks win the tag titles, and then he's hanging halfway out of the
locker room
of the tunnel, staring at him, looking sad like a sucker. So I think this will be a turnabout fair play. So I guess I'll go with, just for the story or the overall arching story, I will go with Luchasaurus or the Christian Express. Let's call it like that.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. I'm not gonna rest until I get my Hangman Matt Jackson unsanctioned match.
I mean, it has to happen. Matt Jackson and Hangman have to have a match at some point.
Yep. They have definitely been through it, and I'd like to see it. So we got tag match Pac and Cody Rhodes against Malachi Black and Andrade El Idolo, aka the hide Cody amongst a bunch of people right now to make y'all not think about like the toxicity around him.
I was thinking more of we're short on time, and like all 4 of these guys need to be on the show, but we kind of already did 6 matches between both, 6 singles matches between them. Yeah, so I mean, I don't even know what. Obviously, they've made saves for each other that were really about like their opponents hopping into action. They just want to beat their opponent's ass. So, like, I think not Dynamite, but Rampage would be a nice place to have like a interaction face to face, like Cody Pac thing, to where they kind of get a feel for each other and get, you could probably get some comedy off it or whatever else if you want to. Yeah, like I expect this match to be very good. I mean, because it's not. Look, those 3 are not going to be putting up with no shenanigans from Cody. They're just not.
So I'm gonna just ask you this one thing: Pac joining the Nightmare family, they're gonna consolidate. Like it's gonna be the Nightmare Death Triangle. Like that's what they're gonna do.
I hope not. I don't want Cody next to the Death Triangle for any extended period of time. I feel like,
bro, imagine Pac coming out with Cody and all that fucking pyro going off and Pac looking around like, what the fuck is all this? Like,
Yeah. I think this is a one night only type of thing.
One night only Allied powers,
kind of. Yes, kind of.
The UK linking up with the US,
I don't even. It's not even about the nationalities. It's just like the Stees. Like they have nothing in common. Like obviously,
they're both wrestlers.
If this is WWE, they make them an odd couple of this, this over the top, hard on the sleeve ass Cody, and then the grump of what would be the English grump of Pac. But nah, man, he already has an associated act. He more clearly in the ring relates to those guys. We need to start focusing on this pair of this triangle, a lot more. We need to make the most of the fact that Pac is in the country right now. Cause look, this might be the last match we see from him this year. So, we need to take advantage while we can.
Yeah. I just wanted to pitch the Pac. Yeah, just pretty much, and then the last match, we got Britt Baker versus Ty Conti for the AEW Women's title. A lot of shit breaking out on Twitter right now with TK and his remarks. Did you catch wind of this, James?
No, I did not.
Okay, so he walked right into the trap this time. And I'm just going to say this. This is a trap question whenever you hear this. When wrestling media asks a representative from a company, when are you going to do an all-women show? The person answering the question should just stun them and just say, no, next question. They should just try it once because Tony, what he did was he was like, I'm going to cut you off real quick. And it was a woman asking him this question. He said, I'm going to cut you off real quick. And he was like, and she basically was like, when are you going to do, does AEW have any plans to do an all women's show? And he said, and basically help women's wrestling and, everything like that. He was like, what do you mean? I'm going to cut you off right there. I have helped women's wrestling and I sent people to the NWA and we paid them or whatever to do that. And I wish the NWA would have been, more forward about that, but they weren't. So, and from there, it has just I think Twitter's ablaze right now. We started the show kind of as I was checking it out. So
how many interviews did he do today? I thought he did a mini availability what in the afternoon or something today. Well, I didn't hear nothing about this.
He did the conference call around 2-ish or whatever.
And this was in it?
This was in it. Yep. And then it's exploded on Twitter tonight. And, people have bemoaned more women's matches not being on the card here tonight.
I mean, sure.
I'm like, all right, cool. What are we knocking off?
That's why I said, I mean, sure.
I think, yeah, and back to the trap question thing. He totally handled it wrong. I think he has a valid point. However, it is not a point that anyone was checking for. So obviously he's thought about this and is probably a little sensitive to this. But yeah, Britt Baker and Ty Conti. Or what did you think about this, James? Oh, and all the grifters and everybody is it's on fire right now on Twitter.
I mean, he's helped women's wrestling in the fact that he's employed a number of women. He's had a number of good matches, mostly with women that have good matches from the country they're from. Yeah, it's a really weird thing. We talk about it almost every single week. Their show cuts out 15 to 20 minutes for the women's division, period, on Dynamite. And a division can't really get much off the ground when that's all going on. So that's kind of, I mean, I feel like it's ad nauseum at this point on this show talking about it. It's could they do more? Sure. Are they going to? Don't look like it. I wish they were. I wish I feel like this would be a lot more. I feel like they would be able to help build their division better if they were able to send women over to Japan to do tours in different places. But right now you can't really do that, at least for the time being. So we'll see what this division looks like. Like, they have one star. They have someone else like Thunder Rosa that people like a lot. But for the most part, the rest of their division has, some very good wrestlers like Serena, like Riho. And that's kind of where like Sheeta. But right now, like, this tournament is kind of all they have right now. And hopefully they'll be able to spring some stuff off of this tournament. Much like the Sheeta and the Serena thing, but like
a lot of storylines in that tournament.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at on it. It's just like, I feel like they show signs of effort. But it's not moving as fast as people would like.
Yep. It feels like I'm tired of it, quite frankly, but it's not my thing to really defend, because like I actually like the women's division and how it's kind of working out, like, and I don't know, I'm not really one for looking at it like, hey, this needs to happen on this show, this needs to be carved out this way, because quite frankly, I'm just trying to see the best they can offer me. I'm not worried about quotas. I'm not trying to...
Do you feel like they're giving you the best they can offer you, though?
I feel like they're booking a logical and competent division, because...
I don't disagree on that.
So, like, you feel like, obviously we know the match is Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa. That's the big match that we're waiting for, right? So before you wrestle Thunder Rosa, you're going to get people cycling kind of in between. Tay Conti's taken enormous like amounts of growth from when she first showed up to about half the time she's been here to when she wrestled Hikaru Shida to what we'll probably get here tonight or in a couple days. It's a rotating thing. Like, they shown the ability to create a star, so that makes me think they can create another one if they tried. And I think them adding the TBS title was a lot better than adding a tag team championship, because I think there's just more that goes into booking a tag team championship, like having actual tag teams. And if you don't have actual tag teams, it would probably go the way of the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, which are a trash fire. Mm-hmm. So I think, they'll have their two kind of separate divisions to get people ready to, like, your Ty Conti's could possibly be a TBS champion, or I think you use the TBS title now to hold Jade over to keep her fresh, because they obviously don't want to beat her because she's on the verge of being a star as well. So you let her go hold that shit until she comes off it and she's ready to move into the world title picture. Like, I like the tournament they did earlier this year. I like Britt. I like her group. I like Thunder. I like I don't really see anybody that I don't like and want to get off my screen except Abaddon.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird, because it's also like the mind fuck of, like, you do the comparison of what like the old NXT division was before, like Vince said, or before Raquel was champion. So like, I'm instead of comparing it to like WWE, like the main roster divisions, I'm comparing it to, the best divisions of American women's wrestling we've ever seen, right? So it's unfair.
Which was not actually like on the highest level, or being like having the audience that AEW has. Like, for example, SmackDown. There's been numerous SmackDowns this year that have no women's wrestling on it at all, right? And they have the highest platform. They have valuable minutes that they don't want to just dole out to anybody. And I don't think NXT necessarily was ever in that situation, and they could stockpile whoever, as many great workers as they wanted. And I don't know, man, like, whenever, they get more, they'll get more. I think
that's kind of where I'm on it. That's kind of where I'm on it. Like, they're constantly booked, but right now they only have like one star, and they have another person that looks like they could get there, another person that can be a star, but they're so far away with wrestling that's not even worth that. I don't feel like it's worth mentioning right now. Then like, so for me, like, I feel like they're constantly booked or whatever else, and like I kind of say that's what it is, and like it's. I just kind of like, it is what it is, and like it's constantly booked, and leave it at that. Like, but like I don't go any further with that. Like, I kind of feel like the getting the question of when you're gonna do all women's show is like, I don't know.
Like, it's a trap. It's a setup question. It's like what?
There's no right way to say other than say yes.
Correct. Correct. Exactly. That's why I was like, he should just stun them and say, no, we don't plan on doing that. Next question. Like, he should, I know that would only infuriate them more, but the thing is, like, I'm trying to look at it like, if I was a booker, if I was like trying to make money, all right, let's swap out option one, swap out a pay-per-view, right? And one of these 4 pay-per-views we got, we're going to make that an all women's show. What would that show do, James?
No, I wouldn't. No.
I'm just going through the options.
A flying crowd for a big 4 AEW for a pay-per-view.
All women's.
So you asked me what the buy rate would be?
Yes. It would flop.
I mean, I'm trying to think of would they do 40K buys at $50 a pop? Because I don't think so.
No. Yeah. It would flop.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. We're going to do a whole Dynamite of all women's matches right here. All right. Why would you do that?
I mean, if they built towards it, but the thing is, like, why the hell would you build towards one division having all the matches on a show like that? They don't do all tag matches on AEW. They don't do all singles matches on AEW.
All right. So they're moving over to TBS next year, right? So let's go one of their TNT specials, or could they do one of those?
Or like Fighter Fest? The same thing. Like, if you book it in that kind of way, sure, but why would you book something like that when you have most of your talent tied up in tag teams?
Why would you not have CM Punk, Kenny Omega, Bryan Danielson, Cody Rhodes, Chris Jericho? Like, I'm not leaving these people off for this fake, like, bullshit quota stuff. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I'm tired of it. Like, I know I'm a bit aggressive about this right now, but I just don't think it makes sense. I think these people are asking trap questions that they are setting.
They're asking questions in bad faith.
Yep.
Like, or maybe they're actually asking them in good faith, but like for most people,
they're
like
not thinking.
They're not using the context of like nobody else does this either.
Right.
And I mean, obviously you'd be like, well, you could be the first or the second, honestly, when you talk about evolution in WWE, but it's like they haven't done that since.
Look, they haven't done this since, and also like
they don't have Ronda Rousey.
They can run whatever show they want, and it doesn't matter. They're insulated. Like,
yeah, that's
like they can put whatever on the show. They're insulated, and they have, like, to their credit, they have star power. They have people that have drawn. They have Sasha Banks. They have Charlotte.
Yeah. And that's the part that I think is getting frustrated. People is like, people act like that shit was like some shit they just decided to do in like 1 year. It's like, no, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon and whoever else like was in charge of hiring made a directive change, and it took them from like 2013, or when did Paige come in? Is that 2011?
14.
When did she get signed?
She got signed in like 2013, maybe.
So basically from 2000, it took them 5 years to build to that. AEW's been around for like a year, and obviously I'm not doing comparison because people will be like, well, I guess we'll check in 5 years, whatever else. But like, nah, like there was only one company at that time that could sign that amount of talent and bring it in. Now it's spread out even further. And to be quite frankly, like if they wanted to, sure, bring in Asuka Vinny, bring in Emi Sakura, bring in Mai Saruga, bring in the rest of the Emiverse, bring in Tsukasa in Sakushi from Ice Ribbon, since Emi also trained him, and bring in the Japanese half with Ryu Mizunami and have them do half a show and then bring the order. Sure, they can go out there and have a pay-per-view, a great pay-per-view with all women if they wanted to, but like most things with AEW, since day one, he's been concerned with trying to keep numbers up or elevated or whatever else, or whatever within reason. So it's like, if they go out there and have a great match and has a shitty gate, what does that accomplish?
Right. Like it satisfies your mob on Twitter that, is looking for anything to bite Tony Khan on anyway, which is like hilarious. I'm like, yo, did y'all just see the tournament that went less than 20 minutes, all matches combined? Like, we won't even go into that, but we've used all this time and barely talked about Britt Baker and Tay Conti.
Well, to be honest, what is it talk about?
There's not really much to talk about.
Like, who was Britt's challenger at the last pay-per-view?
Chris Statlander.
Yeah, this is a nothing challenger, and that's kind of, I guess, kind of reason who I asked. And this kind of stuff is like, who could possibly give a fuck about this match?
Right.
Through no fault of Ty Conti's at all. Like, I don't remember them having much interaction. Like, most of the stuff I saw with Ty Conti through this cycle was her trying to keep Anna Jay's return, and her trying to help keep Dark Order from splitting after they were all at each other's neck after the aftermath of them failing Hangman. So it's like, y'all, this is a Tony Khan mistake, because they knew that she was going to be a challenger. They didn't get her hot.
Yeah, I think
in this instance, they didn't get her hot.
Yeah, I think it was just she was saving Anna Jay from the beatdowns.
Yeah.
But yeah, Britt wins, and the road to Thunder Rosa continues.
Yeah. Yeah. You think Revolution? They need to finally get to it at Revolution?
I think Revolution.
Yeah. They desperately need the Rosa and Britt thing to start off. Yeah. I didn't know they asked that question. There is no right, like, seriously, there is no right answer to that outside of saying yes.
Right.
We're going to do the show eventually.
Right.
And then like,
when it doesn't happen.
And then when they probably lose money on it, everyone will be like, well, why the fuck do you do that? And then Tony comes to go to the back of the room or go to the back of his office and be like, well, what the fuck? Like,
Yep. Dude, TK, do not let these people bully you. You're already letting them catch you lacking on the calls, recognize the traps. You know better than this. Like, and I think he could have handled the question better, like, especially to the reporter. But
I mean, yes, but there's also,
we already know what it is.
There is no right way to answer it outside of just saying yes, and here's the date.
Right.
Within the next 6 months. So, and to be quite frank, like, this could be a situation to where, in time, maybe they do go out there and feel like taking a loss on a show, on one of these, like, classic champion, like, specials they do, or whatever else with all women sing. Because, like, it wouldn't hurt to kind of get them off your back, and also, like, kind of get some things going. Like, I don't know how this thing is gonna. When are we expecting to have the TNT? The TBS tournament, like, on the first night of Dynamite on TBS?
If I had to guess, I would think that's where the finals would be.
Okay. I hadn't thought about it before, but
yeah, I think they're gonna stretch it out as much as they can.
It's November. That's still like 7 weeks away.
Well, they're still in the quarterfinals, so they've got 4 first round matches to do, and if they can get to that first week of January, I think they'll be fine.
That's a long ass time to do one tournament.
Well, if you got essentially, like, you have 8 people left in the tournament right now, that's 7 matches,
right?
So you could do one a week,
right? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying is, like, you're gonna have a tournament that basically lasted. You're gonna have basically a tournament that lasted, like, it wasn't a G1 that lasted like 3 months.
Yeah, I see your point.
I mean, they'll probably do it, And it's not, I mean, they'll probably do it because they kind of need that, do one match a week on, one of the TV shows, and the other week, like, you do something for Britt or Thunder Rosa or, whoever else. So, like, right. I get it. With the 15 minutes that are allotted every single week on each show. So, yeah, like, that's kind of what we talk about. It's like, they don't want to go through growing pains, and, like, it stinks if you want to actually see it flourish and you want to see the hardship pay off, like, evolution, but, like, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that.
Look, I can't blame you for saying we ain't going to go out there and get our heads beat in. Like, I can't blame him for that.
Yeah, like, and another thing you also think about is, or not,
we not going to be the Philadelphia 76ers tanking. Trust the process. We're not doing that shit.
There's also the part where it's like, you look at also, like, after the criticism he got on the last pay-per-view, or AEW got on the last pay-per-view, as far as, like, there were no black people on there. It's like, well, like, look at the initiative he took with his time since then, like, to get Lee Moriarty signed and brought up, Dante Martin, bring back Leo Rush, push for Leo Rush to retire. Scorpio Sky in American Top Team or whatever else. Like, Ricky Starks says FT, fuck the world champion. Like, this was more, like, getting the black wrestlers, like, kind of position was more important for him this cycle. Like, it's hard to, like, diversity's a bitch when, like, when most of your workforce is white. White men. So yeah, like, it's not gonna be perfect. It's not gonna be perfect. But for me, like, I don't really necessarily watch pro wrestling for that. Like, I think it helps. I think it definitely helps. But I'm here to watch good ass wrestling for the most part. To give me good ass wrestling. So a lot of times, like, I don't think about this stuff until, like, this pops up. And then I'm like, oh yeah, that's true. And I just, like, I'm not finna defend what happens on this show because, like, it ain't my show. But
I think we're headed to that was it.
Oh yeah,
we're headed for show of the year candidate. Like, you look at it, there's a lot of potential 4-star, above 4-star matches, 4.5, sitting there. A couple of them. I think this is going to be it's going to be a great show. Like, it could easily end up on the list. So,
yeah, I don't see any reason why this wouldn't be at least their second best show this year. At least.
No doubt. But yeah, man. That is it.
Yeah. We did our best in the last segment to stretch this shit out for to an hour and a half. But yeah, we're done. That's it, the show. Thanks for listening, y'all. Be sure to rate us on whatever app you're using to listen to this with. Also, in the future, like, Rich will send out the bat signal through Twitter to check out the Twitch. I believe that is twitch.com/RichLattaTV.
Yeah, it's like, you can just type in Rich Latta. Just go to Twitch, type in Rich Latta, you'll see it.
Yeah. Go to Red Circle, drop us off a donation. Check out ProWrestlingTees.com/Social Suplex and pick up some official Social Suplex Network merchandise. And listen to other shows on the network besides One Nation Radio. Keepin It Strong Style, the Ricky Clive Wrestling Show, Grown Men Watch This Shit, the Grave Consequences Podcast, 8-Bit Suplex, All Things Elite, Great Match Generator, and the AEW Match Review. Right? That's
AEW Match Guy Podcast.
God damn it. The AEW Match Guy Podcast. Sorry, Sam. I'm gonna get it right one of these days.
Here. Don't worry, JML. We got the post show coming up after this, so we're gonna kick it for a little bit.
Yeah. So, thanks for listening, y'all. Later.
Peace.
While traveling, it's usually best to pack light. When it comes to money, carrying some cash and having an alternative like Zelle is a great idea. Zelle's an easy way to send and receive money with people you trust. At any U.S. bank, it's already in thousands of different banking apps, and it's money straight into your bank account in minutes fast. Look for Zelle in your banking app today. Safe travels.